What's going on, everyone? So the Philadelphia 76ers, they're cooked. They just took another loss at home against the Memphis Grizzlies. Yes, the Memphis Grizzlies, who have basically been terrible all year. They only have 22 wins. They had 21 going into this game. And the Philadelphia 76ers, they're without Joel Embiid for who knows how long still. Tyrese Maxey is under concussion protocol. He's, at best day-to-day. He's probably going to miss some time. He's missed 2 straight games. Sixers are on a 2-game losing streak. They have officially fallen into the play-in as the 7th seed. They're only half a game ahead of the Pacers for the falling into the 8th seed. And I don't really see an answer for Philadelphia. Honestly, at this point, do you even bring Maxey and Joel Embiid back? Seriously, because chances are, right, you're probably going to fall into the play-in regardless, unless Joel Embiid comes back in the next 2 or 3 games. But at that point, you probably are rushing him back to the point where you're going to run the risk of him getting hurt again. And if you get into the postseason without Joel Embiid, or the play-in without Joel Embiid, guess what? You're not winning anything anyway, right? And Tyrese Maxey with the concussion protocol, right? Do you want to rush him back and then he, something happens to him and now you're again cooked? So to me, it's take your time with these two. I know it's frustrating. I'm sure many Sixer fans are probably extremely frustrated, but luckily you have a very good cushion, right? So they have a 5-game cushion over the Bulls and a 7-game cushion over the Hawks. Even without Maxey and Joel Embiid, I think it'd be really tough for the Sixers, especially with they have 18 games left, something like that, right? I think it'd just be very hard for them to fall into that 9th or 10th. So even if you get the 8th, right, you'll have 2 chances to try to get into the postseason with a healthy Joel Embiid and healthy Tyrese Maxey. My only concern is just, right, if they're fully healthy, then fine, bring them back. Because you also want to give them a couple games to kind of, get their feet under them and kind of, work things out before they just jump into a play-in game or jump into the postseason. But to me, I don't want to, if I'm the Sixers, you don't want to rush them back and the season be dead, right? Especially if you're probably going to be a play-in team regardless. Now, could you still win a couple games and potentially put yourself in a position to maybe you get the 6th seed, right? The Knicks have a ton of injuries. They're missing a bunch of guys. They're sinking fast. So they could be in a good spot to maybe overtake some of those teams, especially if Maxey and Joel Embiid come back. Now, chances are they're probably going to bring them back sooner rather than later, especially Maxey, which is fine. But again, to me, kind of give these 2 guys some rest. Let them heal their bodies. Let them heal everything. Tell them hey, get ready because we got a lot of work to do, right? And then you just get into the postseason. You're probably playing the Celtics or the Bucks anyway. So, and you got to go through those teams regardless if you're going to win. So, if you can beat them, you're not going to catch them. So you're not going to have home court regardless. So you're going to be on the road no matter what. So you might as well just, again, healthy Joel Embiid, healthy Tyrese Maxey at least gives you a chance against all those teams, right? And in the meantime, you can kind of let everyone else get in a rhythm, right? Allow all of them to kind of step up and kind of be forced to have to play in bigger roles, right? To which, they hopefully that translates when everybody comes back, right? Tobias Harris was terrible in the Memphis game. He was 3 of 12 from the field, only had 8 points in 35 minutes. He's got to be better than that if they're going to have a real chance. But my thing is that allow him to kind of work through that stuff, figure things out, right? Kind of get guys like Buddy Hield and, Batum and Reed and Payne and Oubre and Martin and all these guys, allow them to kind of step up and play significant roles and kind of get in a rhythm and build some confidence. If they can rattle off a couple wins, and that could put yourself in a good position to where now they start feeling confident. Maybe you even have a little momentum going into, Joel Embiid and Maxey returning, and you've rattled off some games. Like, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Because, again, how long is Joel Embiid going to be out for, right? Let's say he comes back towards the end of March, right? Like, let's say, I don't know, let's call it the Clippers or the Lakers game. So March 22nd or 24th, right? Like, let's call it the Clippers game, right? You'd have 5 games in the month of March, and you'd have, 7 games? So you'd have 12 games total if he came back for that Clippers game, that first Clippers game, because they play the Clippers twice coming up, right? Okay, maybe you could rattle off some stuff, but you still have, between now and then, you have 8 games in which you could end up losing all 8 games, right? But you got the Pelicans coming up. I don't think that they're going to beat the Pelicans. I just don't, especially without Tyrese Maxey. Maybe Maxey comes back for that game, but I think realistically you're probably not going to have him, and then you lose to the Pelicans. Then you got the Knicks twice. I think bare minimum you could beat the Knicks at least one of those times, which give you 1 win. Probably losing to the Bucks. I think you could beat the Hornets, so there's potentially 2 wins. You probably lose to the Heat, Suns, and Lakers, but you never know. You get somebody step up big, right? Miami, the Lakers, even the Phoenix Suns. Those 3 teams do have like their issues and their questions and lack of showing up during the regular season. So could you win maybe 1 or 2 more of those games? So let's say you win 3 out of your next 8 or whatever. I think you're still probably in that 7th or 8th spot, right? Maybe Maxey comes back at some point during that time. But again, it's just, at this point, all you're trying to do is just tread water. Because what's the best case scenario if everyone comes back, right? Best case scenario, let's say Maxey comes back for the Pelicans game. Okay, fine. And you rush back Joel Embiid. Best case scenario, you're playing for the 5th, maybe the 4th seed. You're a game and a half out of Orlando, the Knicks, and the Heat. Knicks, you probably could overtake unless they start getting guys back. Miami, they could be kind of hot and cold at times, although they've been playing better as of late. Orlando, they've been playing solid. They're on a 5-game win streak. They're kind of cruising right now. Could you catch Orlando the way they're playing? And if I'm not mistaken, Orlando actually has a pretty easy schedule the rest of the way. So maybe you could fight for the 5th or 6th seed and avoid the play-in, which that would be good. Don't get me wrong. But what version of Joel Embiid do you get? Do you get like an 80% Joel Embiid, right? And then do you run the risk of him getting hurt again? Like, he doesn't have the best injury history. And all that just to like squeeze into the 6th seed, where I just think you may be able to get in the 6th seed regardless if the Knicks keep playing the way that they're playing right now. And I don't really think that they're going to fall into the 9th or 10th. I don't. I mean, 5 games in the next 20, it's really tough, right? That's a lot of games. And you're not talking about 2 teams in the Bulls. I don't really see 7 games. I definitely don't see them losing. But like, because not only does Philly have to lose 5 games, but the Bulls have to win 5 games. And that's just to break you even. Like, that's a lot to kind of squander there. And you have some very favorable games coming up, right? So you get kind of through this grueling stretch of March, and then you get into April, right? Like the Grizzlies, they're probably tanking at that point and calling it a season and trying to get draft pick. Spurs probably just sitting Wemby at that point and trying to get a draft pick. Pistons, same thing. Magic, if they already have the 4th seed locked up, right? Do they even play guys? Maybe they sit everybody. And the Brooklyn Nets, they might be tanking for draft seeding, right? So you may be able to rattle off, like, you have 20 games left. Can you win 7 of them, right? Like, go 7-13? Because the Bulls would have to go basically 12-8. Are the Bulls really going to go 12-8? Or no, they'd have to go 13-7, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, the Sixers have a tiebreaker, right? So Are the Bulls really going to go that? Are they really going to win that many games? I don't think so. Where you only have to, can you just win 7 more games? Can you just get to like 42 wins? That's not asking too much. Because again, I just don't see the Bulls doing that. If the Pacers overtake you, then who cares, right? Like, again, you just got to win one game, get a healthy Joel Embiid, get a healthy Tyrese Maxey, and I think you just live with the results. Because again, Joel Embiid played and tried to appease everybody, and they rushed him back. And now look, now you're in this position because you lost Embiid. And now you lost Maxey. Now you're on a 2-game losing streak, right? Can you just rattle off a handful of wins here, right? Like, can you beat just the terrible teams? Let's say if you beat the Pistons, the Spurs, the Grizzlies, there's 3. The Hornets is 4, right? And then let's say Raptors 5, and maybe the Nets and the Magic, that's 6, and then have like some surprise win between the Heat, the Cavs, the Clippers, the Kings, the Clippers again. You have the Lakers, the Suns, and the Heat, right? Like, I definitely think that they can win one more game out of those. Guys just get hot. And I just think that might be the best course of action for them. Because again, if Joel Embiid comes back and he's not healthy 100% Joel Embiid, I don't think you're going anywhere. Right? Like, if Joel Embiid ends up getting hurt again, you're not going anywhere. Right? So to me, it's like, what are your other options here? You either force him back and you rush him, and what does he look like? Or he gets hurt again. Or you just let him rest. You accept that you're a play-in team this year, and you try to play your way out of the play-in, right? And get into the postseason, and then take your chances. I don't know what else I don't know what the other options are, right? Like, again, if Joel Embiid is helped, like, let's say he tests everything, he's good, 100%, like, let's go, then fine, bring him back, right? But if he's not, and he's kind of like iffy, and it's like, like, let's, we may be able to get the 6 seed. Like, to me, it's just like, it's not worth it. Don't rush him back just to get the 6 seed. I'd rather you keep him healthy, because even if you get the 6 seed and Joel Embiid ain't ready, guess what? You're not going anywhere. You're not beating any of the top teams without Joel Embiid being good, right? Like, you're not beating the Celtics or the Bucks or maybe even the Cavs if Joel Embiid isn't good. So those are my thoughts. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Somewhere in between. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.